So today we are going to discuss a very important chapter, determinants. First, second order determinant. If you take four numbers A, B, C, D and then arrange them in the form of a square between two vertical line segments like this, it is called a second order determinant. Okay. Then how to calculate the value of the second order determinant? Here for second order determinant you have to take one arrow from A to D and one arrow from C to B. Then along the downward arrow, you have to multiply the numbers and take plus sign. And along the upward arrow, you have to multiply the numbers and take minus sign. So the value of this determinant will be A into D minus B into C. Okay. This is the method of calculating a second order determinant. Now coming to third order determinant, take 9 numbers A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3 in the form of a square between two vertical line segments. It is called second or third order determinant. All right. Now, how to calculate the value of this third order determinant? There are 6 different ways to calculate this third order determinant. You can find the value of this determinant using first row or second row or third row, or similarly using first column or second column or third column. All right. Now using first column, first row, how to find the value of this determinant? You take first element of the first row, A1, and multiply by determinant formed by removing the row containing the element and column containing the element. See, column containing A1 is A1, A2, A3. Row containing A1 is A1, B1, C1. Removing these two, what is the remaining determinant? B2, C3 minus B3, C2. So you should multiply A1 with the remaining determinant. We can call it a subdeterminant. Okay. So first number of the first row into determinant of the subdeterminant formed by deleting the row containing A1 and column containing A1. Okay. So A1 into this second order determinant. Coming to B1, we have to take minus sign. Minus B1 into same method. This time, remove the row containing B1 and column containing B1. Column containing B1 is this second column. These are called rows and these are called columns. Okay. Now, minus B1 into, if you remove the row containing B1 and column containing B1, what is the remaining subdeterminant? Only 4 numbers are left, A2, C2, A3, C3. The value of this determinant is, you should take them like this, A2, C2, these two, then A3, C3. Then the value of this determinant is A2 into C3 minus A3 into C2. Okay. Now, take third element of the first row, C1 into, remove the row containing the element and column containing the element. Then you will get remaining subdeterminant A2, B2, A3, C3, A3, B3. This one. And its value is A2 into B3 minus A3 into B2. Okay. So finally, if you expand it completely, what you will get? A1 into, what is the expansion of this? B2 into C3 minus B3 into C2. minus B1 into A2C3 minus A3C2. Plus C1 into the last subdeterminant is A2B3 minus A3B2. Okay. So by calculating this expression, you will get the value of this determinant. Determinant of this determinant is a number always. Okay. This is the method of calculating the determinant using first row. Okay. Now, similarly, if you want to calculate the determinant using second row, for first row, for first element we have taken plus sign, for second element we have taken minus sign, for third element we have taken plus sign. Okay. And then multiplied by remaining subdeterminants. If it is second row, we have to start with minus sign, then plus sign, then minus sign. For first row, plus, minus, and plus. So how to expand the second determinant? The determinant using second row, it is minus A2 into minus A2 into, if you remove the row containing A2 and column containing A2, then what is the remaining determinant? B1, C1, B3, C3 are left. So B1 into C3 minus B3 into C1. B1 C3 minus B3 C1. All right. For second element, you have to take plus sign. So plus B2 into if you remove this column containing B2, this column, and row containing B2, what is the remaining subdeterminant? Only A1, C1, A3, C3 will be remaining. So its determinant is A1 into C3, A1 C3 minus A3 into C1. Okay. And for third element, again, we have to take minus sign. Minus C1 into C2 into minus C2 into removing this column containing C2 and row containing C2, remaining determinant is A1 B3 minus A3 B1. And this expression and this expression will have the same value. Whether you calculate using first row or second row or even third row, you will get the same value of the determinant. Okay. And if you want to use first row, we have to take signs, corresponding signs, plus, minus, plus. These signs here, plus, minus, plus. For second row, we have to take minus, plus, minus. For third row, again plus, minus, plus. Okay. Now, if you want to expand using one column, suppose I want to expand using third column, then what will I get? Suppose I want to expand using first column. For first column, what are the signs? Again, I'll write plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus plus. Again, first column, if you want to use first column and find the determinant, you have to take plus A1 into remaining subdeterminant. What is the subdeterminant? This one. Removing the row containing A1 and column containing A1, remaining subdeterminant is this. Next, for A2, we have to take minus sign. Minus A2 into removing row containing A2 and column containing A2, you will get subdeterminant B1, C1. Oh, here B1, C1 and then B3, C3. Okay. And its value is B1, C3 minus B3, C1. And again plus A3 into remaining subdeterminant B1, C1, B2, C2. This one. And this value will be equal to the previous two values. Earlier we expanded using first row and second row. Now same value you will get by this way also. Understood? So this is the method of finding the value of a determinant. Now example, find the determinant formed by the numbers 2, minus 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, minus 2, 1. Usually we calculate the determinant using first row. So first 2 into what is the remaining determinant? This determinant. What is this determinant? 4 into 1, 4 minus 2 into 2 minus 4. Minus of minus 4 is plus 4. And for second element, we have to take minus sign. So minus of minus becomes plus. Plus 1 into remaining subdeterminant. Subdeterminant is formed by 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. So 1 into 1, 1 minus 3 into 2, 6. Plus third element of the first row, 3 into remaining subdeterminant, 1 into minus 2, minus 2, minus 3 into 4, 12. Now, simplifying it, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 into 2, 16, plus here, 1 into, how much is this? 1 minus 6, minus 5. So 1 into minus 5 is minus 5. Here, minus plus 3 into minus 14. 3 into minus 14 is how much? Minus 42. So finally, how much are you getting? Minus 47 plus 16, minus 31. Okay. Now I will expand using third column now. I will expand the determinant using third column. For third column, what sign should you take? Plus, minus, plus. Then first 3 into first element of the third column, 3 into 1 into minus 2, minus 2, minus 3 into 4, minus 12. For second element, you have to take minus sign, minus 2 into. What is the subdeterminant? Subdeterminant is formed with these two elements and these two elements. 2 into minus 2, minus 4, minus 3 into minus 1. It becomes plus 3. Next, plus 1 into, for third element, plus sign. Plus 1 into subdeterminant. Subdeterminant is this. What is this value? 2 into 4, 8. Minus 1 into minus 1, minus 1. Minus of minus 1 is plus 1. Let us see how much you will get. This is 3 into minus 40, minus 14, minus 42. And this is minus 3 plus, minus 4 plus 3, minus 1. Minus 1 into 2 is plus 2. And last number, 8 plus 1, 9. 9 into 1, 9. What is the value finally? Same value, minus 31. Okay. So by expanding the determinant using any row or any column, you will get the same value. All right. Next example. Find the determinant A, B, C, B, C, A, C, A, B. Now this time I want to expand using second column. For second column, I have to take signs minus, plus, minus. For second column, minus, plus, minus. So first minus B into subdeterminant, how much? This B into B square minus C into A, AC. Next plus C into subdeterminant A into B minus C into C, AB minus C square. Next for third element minus sign, minus A into subdeterminant is A into A square minus B into C, BC, minus BC. A square minus BC. Simplify, multiplying by minus B inside, minus B cube. Next is plus ABC plus again C into AB is ABC minus C cube. Next minus A into A square, A cube plus minus A into minus BC is plus ABC. Then adding the positive terms, ABC plus ABC plus ABC is 3ABC. Next minus A cube minus B cube minus C cube. Okay, so this is the value of this determinant. You can use any row or any column, you will get the same value. All right. Another example. If f of x is equal to determinant of x square plus 3x, x minus 1, x plus 3, x plus 1, minus 2x, x minus 4, x minus 3, x plus 4, 3x. If this determinant is equal to this polynomial px power 4 plus qx cube plus rx square plus sx plus t. If you expand by using any row or any column, you will get a fourth degree polynomial. This into this into this minus this into this minus this into this minus this into this. In this way, if you expand and simplify, you are going to get a fourth degree polynomial. All right. Then find the value of t. Here, do you need to calculate the determinant completely? Sarath,
No, sir, just equalizing some quantities.
how do you equalize? I want t.
By solving first term of the determinant.
First, how the first term? What is the first term? Here, what we do is You want t only, not other terms. So make the other terms 0. How do you make the other terms 0? By substituting x is equal to 0. Is it not? By substituting x is equal to 0 in the right hand side becomes only t. So by substituting x is equal to 0 in the left hand side, you must get the value of t. Okay. So putting x is equal to 0, putting x is equal to 0, t is equal to f of 0. What is f of 0? In the determinant, if you put x is equal to 0, first number will be 0. Second row, first row 0, second element becomes -1, third becomes 3, next 1, again 0, -4. Here putting x is equal to 0 in the third row, -3, 4, 0. Okay. Now let us calculate this determinant. 0 into subdeterminant, anything is 0 only. So I am not going to calculate the subdeterminant. For second element -1, we have to change the sign. It becomes +1 into subdeterminant. This into this minus this into this. 1 into 0, 0 minus 3 into 4, 12. -3 into -4 plus 12. Next for third element +3. +3 into 1 into 4, 4 minus -3 into 0, 0. Simplify 0. Next is 1 into -12, -12. Next is +12. Okay. So we are getting 0. So the value of this constant terms t is 0. Okay. Now, without expanding the determinant in the normal way, we can calculate the value of the determinant by using the properties of determinant. What are properties of the determinant? Let us discuss. Properties of determinant. First property. If two rows or columns of a determinant are equal or in a fixed ratio, then the determinant is equal to 0. You see this example. In this example, you can observe that the first row and third row are identical. Okay. So here rows are represented by capital R, columns are represented by capital C. So here R1 is equal to R3. If two rows are identical, means they are equal, then the determinant is 0. Okay. How can you say the determinant is 0 when two rows are equal? Let us discuss. Let us expand using this determinant using second row. How do you expand using second row? You have to take signs minus, plus, minus. So minus A2 into, what is the subdeterminant? Subdeterminant is B1 C1 B2 C2 B1 C1. B1 into C1 minus B1 into C1. You are getting subdeterminant 0. Plus B2 into, what is the subdeterminant of B2? It is A1 into C1 minus A1 into C1, again 0. Okay. Plus, not plus, minus C2 into. Minus C2 into. What is the subdeterminant for C2? A1 B1, A2 B, A1 B1. A1 into B1 minus A1 into B1, again 0. So how much are you getting? A minus A2 into 0 plus B2 into 0 plus minus C2 into 0. It is 0. Okay. So if two rows are identical, determinant is 0. Similarly, you can see this example. In this example, you can observe that second column and third column are identical. How do you write it? C2 is identically equal to C3. Here R1 is identically equal to R3. That's why determinant is 0. So since second column and third column are identical, determinant is 0. Okay. And even when two rows or columns of a determinant are in a fixed ratio, the determinant will be 0. See this example. Here first column and third column are in the ratio 2:3. See, first elements are in the ratio 2:3. Second elements are in the first column and third, in C1 and C3. This is C1. This is C3. In C1 and C3, you can observe that the first elements are in the ratio 2:3. Second elements are in the ratio 2:3. Second elements are 2A2 and 3A2. Ratio is 2A2:3A2. What is it? 2:3. And what is the ratio of the third elements? 2A3:3A3. That is 2:3. So we say that the first column and third column are in the ratio 2:3. Then also determinant is 0. You can prove it in the same way. If you expand using second column, if you expand, you will be getting all subdeterminants 0. So determinant is 0. Okay. This is one property of a determinant. Next property. If two rows or columns are interchanged, then the sign of the determinant will change. You take a determinant. Like this. Interchange any two rows or any two columns as you wish. See here, what I have done, I have interchanged first and second rows. R1 and R2 are interchanged. So R1 becomes R2, R2 becomes R1. Then the new determinant is A2, B2, C2, A1, B1, C1. Last row remains as it is. Then this determinant will have opposite sign. That's why we have to take minus to make it equal to this determinant. Okay. So whenever you interchange two rows, you have to take minus sign. Sign will change. Okay. Similarly, you can interchange columns, two columns. Let us interchange first column and third column. Then you will get this determinant. Third column becomes first column here. First column becomes third column. Then sign of the determinant will change. So we have to take minus sign. Okay. This is one property. Another property is if all rows or columns are interchanged cyclically, the determinant remains same. What is cyclic interchanging? You can do the cyclic interchanging with respect to the rows or with respect to the columns. Cyclic interchanging means you take a circle, take C1, C2, C3. C1 becomes C2, C2 becomes C3, C3 becomes C1. If you interchange like this, it is called cyclic interchanging. Okay. C1 becomes C2, C2 becomes C3. Similarly, you take R1, R2, R3 around the circle. R1, R2, R3. This time, if you want, you can interchange like this. R1 becomes R3, R3 becomes R2, R2 becomes R1. In whatever way you want to interchange, in the along the circle, you can interchange clockwise or anti-clockwise. You see this example. Here, what is the interchanging done? R1 has become R3 has become R1. R2 has become R3. R1 has become R2. So how I have interchanged? This is, if you take R1, R2, R3 around the circle, if you interchange clockwise, like this, then R3 becomes R1. Here R3 becomes R1. R1 becomes R2. See, this is R1, it becomes R2, second row. R2 becomes R3. The second row becomes third row. If you do this interchanging, it is called cyclic interchanging. The value of the determinant remains same. Okay. Now look at this. This is also equal to this determinant. Here what I have done? I have interchanged columns cyclically. Observe. Here first column has become last column. C1 has become C3. Okay. C2 has become C1 and C3 has become C2. That means I have interchanged clockwise. C1, C2, C3 are interchanged clockwise. C1 becomes C3. See, C1 becomes C3. Sorry, C1 means this column. C1 becomes C3, third column. C3 becomes C2. C2 becomes C1. Observe. Then you will get this determinant. The value remains same. Understood? Next. If rows and columns are interchanged, here if all rows and columns are interchanged, if all rows and columns are interchanged, the determinant remains same. That means rows will become columns, columns will become rows. See, A1, B1, C1 are in the first row. They will become elements of the first column. First row has become first column. Second row has become second column. Third row has become third column. Then the value of the determinant remains same. Understood? This is one property of a determinant. Next property. If a determinant is multiplied by a number k, then k will multiply only one row or one column. You observe this. Here, this is a determinant. Determinant is multiplied by k. Then when k is taken inside, that k will multiply only one row or only one column as your wish. Here I have multiplied k with elements of first row. Then when k goes inside, it becomes First row becomes KA1, KB1, KC1. Second row and third row will be same. Otherwise, if I want, I can multiply K with second column. See here, KB1, KB2, KB3. Remaining two columns are same. Okay. So this is multiplication of determinant by a scalar. This kind of number is called scalar. And this is multiplication of a determinant by a scalar. Scalar means just a constant number. Okay. Now, the same property, if we take converse, if K is common in the second row, see this example, K is common in the second row, that K can be taken out. You can write it like this. Okay. Similarly, if K is common in the column like this, here K is common in the third column, you can take out K and write remaining determinant as it is. Understood? So if there is an element common in a row or a column, that element can be taken out of the determinant. Okay. Now look at this example. In this example, K is common in all three rows and all three columns. So in this case, I can take K common from every row. If I take K common from first row, K will come out. And again, still K's are there in the second row and third row. Now I can take K common from second row. I will get another K here. Remove this K. Now still K is there in the third row. Taking K common from third row, you will get another K. So K into K into K, you will get K cube. Okay. In this way, you can simplify the determinant. Understood? This is one important property of a determinant. Next, this is the most important property of a determinant. If K times a row or a column is added to another row or subtracted from another row, the determinant remains same. Very, very, very important. Here, K times of one row can be added to another row. Determinant remains same. K times of a column can be added to another column. Determinant remains same. Okay. See, this is the determinant given. Here, let us add K times of third row to the first row. Then what will you get in the first row? A1 plus KA3. This one becomes B1 plus KB3. C1 becomes C1 plus KC3. Okay. And remaining two rows will be as it is. The value of the determinant remains same. And this operation is represented like this. R1 tends to R1 plus KR3. You have added K times of R3 to R1. No? So this is the operation done. And here R1 is changed. R1 tends to means R1 is changed to R1 plus KR3. All right. The value of the determinant remains same. This is row operation. This time I want to apply column operation. I want to subtract K times of third column from second column. See, K times of third column is KC1, KC2, KC3. Subtracting from second column, what you will get? B1 minus KC1, B2 minus KC2, B3 minus KC3. Okay. And this operation is represented like this. C2 tends to, or C2 changed to C2 minus KC3. second column minus k times third column is the operation done. The determinant remains same. Okay. And at a time, you can apply two operations at a time, maximum two operations. Okay. But both the two operations must be either row operations or column operations. You cannot simultaneously apply one row operation and one column operation. Okay. Now I will show a few more examples on this property. Now suppose there is a determinant A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. Okay. Here I want to add 2 times of second row to first row and subtract 3 times of third row from second row. Then what should be the operation? We should write the operation like this. R1 change to R1 plus 2R2. And at a time I want to change second row also. R2 change to R2 minus 3 R3. Okay. If you apply this operation, what will you get? First row becomes first row plus second row, or 2 times of second row. So A1 plus 2A2. Next, B1 plus 2B2. Next, C1 plus 2C2. Now, I'm changing second row also. How? R2 minus 3 times R3. So, this minus 3 times this. So, A2 minus 3 A3. Here, B2 minus 3B3. Here C2 minus 3C3. Now what will be the third row? I am not changing third row. Only R1 is changed, R2 is changed. So third row remains as it is. A3, B3, C3. So you should keep one row as it is. You cannot change all 3 rows at a time. Understood? Similarly, you can apply 2 column operations at a time. And you can change 2 columns at a time. All right. And one more example. Let us take the same determinant. This time, I can change second row like this. R2 is changed to R2 plus 2 times R1 minus 3 times R3. I can apply this kind of operation also. Then only R2 is changed. So R1 and R3 will be remaining same. So R1 remains as it is, A1, B1, C1. What is the new second row? A2 minus 2A1, not plus 2A1. A2 plus 2A1, second row, plus 2 times third row, first row, minus 3 times third row, A3. Next, second element is B2 plus 2B1 minus 3B3. And here C2 minus plus 2C1 minus 3C3. Now third row as it is, A3, B3, C3. So this is the new determinant. Its value remains same. By applying this operation, the determinant remains same. Okay. But while applying these kind of operations, we should not forget one important point. Take a determinant again, A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3. Suppose I want to change first row R1 like this. R1 change to 3 times R1 minus 2 times R2. Can I do that? No. When you are changing R1, you should not multiply R1 by any number. Remember this point. Okay. While changing R1, you should not multiply R1 by any number. So this operation is wrong. Okay. If you apply this operation, it won't remain same. Understood? Is it clear? Sarath?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next property. This is the last property. If a row or column of a determinant is a sum of two rows or columns, the determinant can be expressed as a sum of two determinants. You observe this. This is a determinant. Here, third column is given as sum of two columns. Every element in the third column is given as sum of two elements. In this case, you can express this determinant as a sum of two determinants like this. So in these two determinants, you will write the same first and second columns in both the determinants. In third column, once you are taking C1, C2, C3 here, then you are taking X, Y, Z. You are splitting by third row, the third column. Understood? So this can be expressed as sum of these two determinants. Same thing is applicable for rows. If a row is given as sum of two rows, you can express the determinant as sum of two determinants. Similarly for subtraction, suppose this is minus C1 minus X, C2 minus Y, C3 minus Z. Then you can express it as a difference of two determinants like this. Okay. Now, you look at the converse of this statement, converse of this property. If you look at the property from right to left, the sum of these two determinants is this determinant. So when can you add two determinants as a single determinant? Only when two corresponding columns are same. Here first and second columns are identical in these two. So we can add these two in this way. Similarly, you can add the two determinants if two corresponding rows are identical. So for adding two determinants, either two corresponding columns must be identical or two corresponding rows must be identical. All right. And similarly for subtraction, for addition or subtraction, the rule is same. Okay. So for example, if you take, I will take a 2 by 2 determinant and explain. No, 3 by 3 only we will take. 3 minus 1, 4. 2 minus 1, 4. 3, 2, 0, 1, minus 2, 5. I want to add one more determinant. 2 minus 1, 4, minus 5, 1, 3, 1, minus 2, 5. Now you tell, can you add these two determinants as a single determinant? How do you decide? You should check whether two columns are identical or two rows are identical. Observe that first row is same in both the determinants and last row is also same. So two rows are identical. So we can add these two determinants as a single determinant. How will you add? You will write the same first and third rows. 2 minus 1, 4, and third row also 1 minus 2, 5. Then the middle row is obtained by adding these two middle rows. 3 plus minus 5, how much? Minus 2. 2 plus 1, 3. 0 plus 3, 3. So this is the way of adding two determinants. Understood? Sarath?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So properties are clear and these properties are completed. Now in the next class, we are going to solve problems on these properties. All right.